Petunia here, dear. You know, I've got something to read to you today. Oh, it's so special. Do you know what the word prayer means? Prayer, prayer. See people praying. Well, a question came up about prayer. And the question was, is God ever too busy to listen to my prayers? And here's an answer for that question that I want to share with you today. Sometimes the adults in your life are busy. You might hear a teacher or a parent say, wait your turn. Not now. After dinner. Or maybe this weekend. All of us know what it's like to have people tell us that they're too busy to answer a question or to help us. Even grown-ups often hear from other grown-ups that they're too busy to talk or to help. But that's not how it is with God, dear. God is never too busy. As a matter of fact, He is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Just as there is no end to how much God knows, there is no end to how much He cares for you, dear, and wants to help you. You know, God is with you all the time. He doesn't take naps or watch TV or surf the internet. He never feels tired from running the world. He is so tuned into you that He knows your every thought before you think it. Now, some of you, you know, dear, some of you might be saying, that's a scary thought to think that God knows every one of my thoughts. Do you know, like, what thoughts I'm thinking? And God knows those thoughts. He knows them all, dear. Always think good thoughts. That should be a lesson to you. Always think good thoughts. Now listen, we might have 1,000 thoughts a day. It matters what you do with those 1,000 thoughts. You don't want to do every one. They're not good for you. But we do have good thoughts and bad thoughts. We've got to act on the good ones and not on the bad ones. All right. But the Lord here, He's tuned into you and knows every thought and everything you're thinking about. He's listening to you even before you speak. So go ahead and pray and tell God whatever it is that you would like to say. Whenever you want to talk, He's ready. You know, there's a verse in the Bible from 1 Peter 5:7 says, give all your worries and cares to God, for He cares about you and about what happens to you. I'm reminded of a little story of a friend, a young friend of mine from years ago. This little girl, she told me a very sad story. She said, one day I was in my house and I was sitting on my couch and my folks got into an argument and it scared me. And there was yelling and screaming going on and things flying over my head. And I ran and I ducked behind my couch and I just started praying, Jesus, help me. Help me not to be scared about what's going on right now in my home. And she said, I just started praying to God and I didn't know if He heard me or not. But I didn't know what else to do because it was all this screaming and yelling. And in the midst of all of this noise, I just started praying, Lord, Lord, help me. She said, Miss Petunia, do you think that the Lord heard my prayer? And I said, yes, I do. I think He did hear you. And I think He watched over you. Here you are today, dear, telling me about the story. And I'm sorry that you folks got into an argument like that and that you had to see that. She says, what do I do, Miss Petunia? What can I do? I'm just a little girl. I said, like you prayed to God to help you not be afraid. Well, you could pray to God and ask him to help your parents, to love each other again, to get along, and to not yell and scream in front of you. And she said, I didn't think to pray for my parents. Well, Miss Petunia, that's a good idea. I think I'll pray. Will God hear my prayers about my parents? I said, well, of course he will. He hears everything, dear. He knows it all. Thank you, Miss Petunia, she said. I feel better already. Dear, if there's something that you are hurting about, that you are thinking about, dear, that scares you, dear, do you know that you can pray to the Lord too, and he will hear you? It's a great thing about my Lord. He hears me say everything. He hears me when I'm afraid. He hears me when I'm excited. Oh, and he knows. Oh. And I can call on him 24/7. It's free. I don't have to put a quarter into the payphone. I don't even have to use a cell phone. Now, some of you are saying, what is a payphone? I don't pay my phone. No, dear, when I was a kid, we had payphones. You had to put money in and you pick it up. And the person on the other end would talk to you and you'd say, I'd like to make a call. Oh, there were the days when you got in this little box thing and you used a payphone. You put the money in, 35 cents I think it went up to. They were everywhere. There were phones everywhere. And we used to have to stand in line to wait to use the phone. But we don't have to stand in line to talk to God. There's no line. There is no waiting. It's free. You can talk to him any time of the day about anything. And he will listen to you and answer your prayers. Now, your answer might be yes. It might be no. It might be maybe or wait. But whatever the answer is, because God knows best. I'm so glad I don't have to be in charge. It's a wonderful thing, dear. Well, I do not have a puzzle for you, except to go and study on prayer, except to go and speak to the Lord and ask him to show you what he would like you to know. Talk to him about your fears. That's your homework for today. No puzzle today, but to go and talk to the Lord and to tell him what you're thinking, especially if you're afraid. I don't want you to hold on to that. I don't want you to be afraid of anything. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding, but in all your ways acknowledge him. You are loved. You are important. And you matter. Bye for now. Miss Petunia says goodbye. Lois, say goodbye to the peeps. That's the best she's going to do today. I'm sorry. We haven't got no salmon. I'm kind of slacking, I haven't gone to the creek to catch any. Kind of hard considering I live far from a salmon creek. So I go to the store. But I don't tell her that I buy fake salmon from the store, because otherwise she'll get upset, Okay. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.